Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on attitudes. Attitudes are evaluative statements or judgments concerning objects, people, or events. Some of the features of attitudes include: first, refers to the feelings and beliefs of individual or group of individual. Second, leads to behavior or action. Third, may be positive, negative, or ambivalent. Fourth, attitude strongly influences individuals' thinking about the social world, even if the influence cannot be seen in their overt behavior. Next, attitudes are enduring and difficult to change. Every person, irrespective of status or intelligence, has an attitude. And finally, attitudes are directed towards some stimuli. Moving on to the components of attitude. First, cognitive or informational component. This refers to the belief that a person has about an object. For example, Mr. X might believe that he has weak reflexes or alertness and that he might cause accidents, resulting in him never trying driving. Second, affective or emotional component. This refers to an individual's feelings about an object. For example, Mr. X fears driving, so in cases where he has to drive, his fear overcomes his rational mind and he fails. Third, behavioral component. This refers to an individual's intent to act in a certain manner towards an object. For example, Mr. X was in an accident when driving a vehicle once, which has kept him from driving until today. Moving on to the functions of attitude. First, knowledge function. Attitudes have an effect on our perceptions and thoughts about everything. In the absence of knowledge on a specific individual or an object, we use our attitudes to organize and understand what is perceived. Example, people may cultivate negative attitude towards a new product if they are unaware of its usage. Moving on to the next. Value expressive function. Attitudes are expressions of our core values and beliefs. An expression of attitude is an expression of the aforementioned beliefs and values that give each individual a unique self-identity. Example, an individual might choose to commute to work on a bicycle because he or she values health and is environmentally conscious. Moving on to the third, that is ego defensive function. People often cultivate and sustain certain attitudes to defend their own self-image. Example, a person may strongly defend a poor purchase decision or investment as being correct at the time or as a consequence of heeding poor counsel from another person. Moving on to the next, self-esteem function. Attitude helps us to keep or increase our self-worth. We stand by views that we believe to be right, and expressing such views makes us feel superior to others. Moving on to the fifth, impression motivation function. Occasionally, attitudes are employed to impress other people. Often, we desire to impress others by expressing the right views or opinions. Now let's look at the ways of changing attitude. First, by providing new information. People generally foster negative attitude towards something or someone owing to the lack of information. Their attitude changes when they are faced with new information. Second, fear. When the fear level is low, people ignore a message. When it is moderate, people become aware of a situation and alter their attitudes. When their fear level is high, people reject the message because they perceive it as threatening and unimaginable. Moving on to the third, persuasion. This refers to efforts to change others' attitude by using messages of various types. Fourth, co-opting approach. This involves altering the attitude of a person who belongs to a different group by involving him or her in the target group. Fifth, influence of friends and peers. When an individual is convinced by his or her friends about changing his or her attitude towards something or someone, he or she does so readily because of trust in friends. Moving on to the next topic of persuasion. It refers to the efforts to alter others' attitudes by using various types of messages. It involves three elements. First, source. Second, communication. And third, audience. Some of the key influencing factors are: first, credibility of the communicator. Second, attractiveness of the communicator. Third, rapid speakers. Fourth, two-sided approach of the communicator. Fifth, distraction in message. Sixth, emotions. And seventh, intention of message. Moving on to the next topic of cognitive dissonance. It can be defined as an unpleasant internal state that results when individuals notice inconsistency between two or more of their attitudes or between their attitudes and their behavior. It is a discomfort experienced by individuals when they notice inconsistency between their attitudes or between their attitude and behavior. Example number 1. A man who values being eco-friendly just bought a new car only to discover that it has bad fuel economy. Example 2. When a person praises another whom he or she does not like, there exists inconsistency between the person's negative attitude towards the other person and their positive behavior. This is termed cognitive dissonance. Moving further, cognitive dissonance can be reduced in 3 different ways. First, change attitude or behavior to make sure they are consistent with each other. Second, seek new information to cement attitude or behavior. Third, trivialization. It is a technique to reduce dissonance in which the importance ascribed to inconsistent attitudes and behavior is reduced cognitively. And fourth, in indirect ways, their differences between attitude and behavior remain, but the unpleasant feeling or discomfort experienced by individuals because of such differences can be alleviated. Moving on to the last, job attitude. It can be defined as attitudes that an individual holds towards his or her job. There are 3 types of job attitude. First, job satisfaction. That is, a set of favorable or unfavorable feelings that employees have towards their work. Second, job involvement. That is the extent to which employees involve themselves in their jobs, invest time and energy in them, and see work as a central part of their lives. And third, organizational commitment, which is an employee's identification with the organization and feeling of pride as the organization's employee. Thank you.